Have you ever pondered about the significance of humility and modesty in leadership? To truly grasp this, let's journey back to the early life of Prophet Muhammad. Born in the bustling city of Mecca, known for its strong tribal hierarchies and thriving commerce, Muhammad's life was anything but grandiose. His story begins with the simplest and humblest of origins. He was but a child when he experienced the profound loss of his parents, leaving him an orphan in a harsh world. His early years were spent under the loving care of his grandfather and later his uncle. This period of his life, filled with hardship and adversity, played a crucial role in molding him into the man he would become. These experiences instilled in him a deep sense of empathy, understanding, and compassion for those facing adversity. And it was from these humble beginnings that one of the greatest leaders in history emerged. Before his prophethood, Muhammad lived a simple life as a shepherd. This was a humble yet profound chapter of his life, one that was filled with solitude, deep contemplation, and a profound connection to the natural world. Under the expansive desert sky, he nurtured the flock entrusted to him, guiding them through the undulating dunes of Mecca's outskirts. This occupation was not just about tending to animals, but also served as a metaphor for the future role he was to take on, guiding his people, his flock, towards the path of righteousness. The solitude offered him the opportunity to reflect on the world around him, to contemplate the mysteries of life, and to foster a strong connection with the divine. Shepherding was more than a job for Muhammad. It was a way of life that shaped his character, instilled patience, and cultivated empathy. The humble occupation of shepherding fostered a strong connection to the natural world and the people around him. A profound moment in Muhammad's life was his first revelation in the solitude of the cave of Hira. Imagine the stillness of the night, the quiet of the cave, and the solitude of a man deep in contemplation. Then out of this silence, the divine intervenes, bringing a message that would forever change the course of human history. It was during one of his usual retreats when the angel Gabriel appeared before him. The angel commanded him to read, to which Muhammad, who was illiterate, responded, "I cannot read." The angel repeated the command thrice, and on the third time, the first verses of the Quran were revealed to him. Muhammad was deeply moved by this experience. He was trembling, overwhelmed by the weight of the divine message and his new responsibility. Yet, in this pivotal moment, his humility shone through. He did not revel in his new role, but rather felt a profound sense of duty and humility. His encounter with the angel Gabriel left him humbled and trembling, reinforcing his commitment to God's guidance. Despite his growing responsibilities, Muhammad's humility shone through in his domestic life. As a husband and a father, he was deeply committed to his family, embodying the virtues of love, care, and respect. His relationship with his wife Khadijah was one of mutual respect and affection. He valued her wisdom and counsel, acknowledging her as his confidant and partner in life. Muhammad was also a doting father, showing a soft, tender side in his interactions with his children. He was not above partaking in household chores, often mending his own clothes, assisting in cooking, and even sweeping the floor. This was a stark contrast to the societal norms of the time, where such tasks were often left solely to the women of the household. Muhammad's actions emphasized the importance of humility and respect in the home, breaking down societal barriers and gender norms. His humility was evident in his devotion to his family, showing that true humility starts within the home. Muhammad's humility was a key factor in his mission to address social injustices. As the message of Islam began to spread, his humility played an instrumental role in attracting followers. He was not just a spiritual guide, but a social reformer, advocating for the rights of the marginalized and the downtrodden. He tirelessly worked to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor, the powerful and the powerless. His mission was marked by a relentless pursuit of justice, demonstrating his commitment to uplifting those who were oppressed. He challenged the societal norms of his time, promoting equality and fairness in a society marked by stark social inequalities. His unyielding belief in the inherent worth of every individual, regardless of their social standing, was a testament to his profound humility. This was not a mission driven by a hunger for power or recognition, but by a humble desire to serve others. His humility and service to humanity attracted many to the message of Islam. As the Islamic community grew, Muhammad's role expanded, but his humility remained constant. As the faithful increased in number, the Prophet found himself not just a spiritual guide, but also a political figurehead and military leader. His duties multiplied, his responsibilities deepened, but through it all, his humility never wavered. His leadership was not marked by grandeur or opulence, but by simplicity and modesty. He didn't surround himself with the trappings of power or the luxuries of his position. Instead, he chose to live a life devoid of extravagance. His home was simple, his meals were modest, and his attire was humble. He lived his life in such a way that it was often hard to distinguish him from his followers. He was a leader who led by example, not by decree. His actions spoke louder than his words, and his humility was his most potent tool. He treated everyone with respect, regardless of their social status or wealth. He listened more than he spoke, valuing the opinions and thoughts of those around him. He was a leader who was not afraid to serve. He would often be seen helping with community projects, assisting the poor, and lending a hand wherever it was needed. He was a servant leader, putting the needs of others before his own, showing that true leadership is about service, not status. And when it came to matters of war and peace, his humility shone brightly. Even in the heat of battle, he exhibited restraint and mercy, always preferring peace over conflict. His decisions were guided by justice, wisdom, and compassion, not pride or ego. He was a leader who understood that humility is not a sign of weakness, but a mark of strength. He knew that a leader's true power lies not in his authority, but in his ability to inspire, motivate, and serve. Muhammad's leadership was a testament to his profound humility. He led with love, compassion, and humility, showing us that these qualities are not just desirable in a leader, but essential. He led a simple life, demonstrating that humility and leadership can coexist. His example serves as a timeless lesson, reminding us that true leadership is about being a servant first and a leader second. It's about putting the needs of others before our own, treating everyone with respect, and leading with humility. And it's a lesson that even in today's world is more relevant than ever. One of the most powerful demonstrations of Prophet Muhammad's humility was his return to Mecca as a conqueror. This pivotal moment in history is a testament to his profound humility and a shining example of his character. For years, Prophet Muhammad and his followers faced relentless persecution in Mecca. They were forced to leave their homes, their families, and their city. They found refuge in Medina, where the Islamic community continued to grow and thrive. And yet, Mecca remained the city of their birth, the city of the Kaaba, their spiritual heartland. After years of exile, the time came for Prophet Muhammad to return to Mecca. This was not a return of a defeated exile, but of a victorious leader. The city that once expelled him and his followers now lay at his mercy. Yet the prophet did not enter the city in the fashion of a triumphant conqueror high on his horse, brandishing his sword. Instead, he entered humbly, with a bowed head, expressing gratitude and praising God. His return was not marked by revenge or retribution, but by forgiveness and reconciliation. He declared a general amnesty for all, even for those who had caused him and his followers immense suffering. He did not seek to establish his dominance or flaunt his power, but to heal the wounds of the past and build a future based on peace and unity. Prophet Muhammad's humility was not diminished by his victory. Instead, it was magnified. He demonstrated that true leadership is not about wielding power, but about embodying humility and compassion. His actions on that day reflected his understanding that victory is not just about conquering lands, but about winning hearts. In this pivotal moment, Prophet Muhammad illustrated an essential truth, that power does not corrupt but reveals. It revealed his character, his humility, his forgiveness, and his desire for reconciliation. It served as a reminder that humility does not weaken us, it strengthens us. It does not belittle us, it elevates us. His humility and victory serves as an enduring symbol of his character. It serves as a beacon of light in a world often clouded by the pursuit of power and dominance. and it continues to inspire millions around the world, reminding us all of the power of humility and the strength of forgiveness. In every aspect of his life, Prophet Muhammad exemplified modesty. He was a man who opted for simplicity, choosing to live a life that was unadorned and humble in every sense. His attire was simple, often consisting of plain and functional clothing that served a purpose rather than making a statement. His eating habits too were marked by frugality. He often chose to eat simple foods, avoiding extravagance even when it was within his reach. But perhaps the most striking example of his modesty was his home. His living conditions were far from opulent. He chose to reside in a humble abode, devoid of unnecessary adornments. His home was a reflection of his lifestyle, free from the trappings of luxury and excess. Through his simple attire, frugal eating habits, and modest living conditions, Prophet Muhammad taught his followers the importance of living a modest and humble life. His modesty in appearance and lifestyle serves as a timeless example for us all.